Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the September 23rd, 2025 Board of Health meeting. Since I didn't do this last time, I'll do it this time. In accordance with the provisions of MGL, Chapter 30A, Section 20, notice is hereby given that the Board of Health will meet on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in person at 1 Liberty Lane or by remote connection provided. Please note that in-person meeting will be suspended or terminated will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the remote connection. And again, since we have no public hearings this evening, it's more or less just a working meeting. First item is review of meeting minutes. That's, I guess, the only question I have for you is, we did have some visitors last time. Should they be not noted?
Actually, I do, and I have,
Did I miss their names?
no, no. Was that last meeting?
Yep. Yeah.
It was, yep. And I do have their names, so I will add that to the list of attendees.
Okay. That's the only change I saw. You good?
Yes.
John? What's that?
Motion to accept.
I second that motion.
Okay. Hearing no further discussions, all in favor say aye to accept the August 26th meeting minutes of the Board of Health. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, good. Moving right along. Discuss the proposed body works regulations. Matt, do you want to give a 2-minute summary on sort of what we're looking at? And I've got a lot of, I think, just structural questions of the layout, and maybe you'll answer that, or maybe you may have answered this before, but that's just kind of giving you a heads up what I've got with those.
Sure. So bodyworks has been an issue in Massachusetts for the last, I guess, definitely at least the last decade. In the last probably 7 or 8 years, been increasingly getting more widespread, more common. Basically, bodyworks is a one-off from like massage therapy, we'll say. And there are establishments that are legitimate, there are other establishments that are not. And a big issue relating to bodyworks establishments is human trafficking and other illegal acts and activity that's conducted within these establishments. The issue is, in 2009, I believe it was, massage therapists and their establishments were removed from local Board of Health authority and put under the state. Oddly enough, the state actually took something from locals. So local Boards of Health have no jurisdiction or authority to even set foot in these establishments, let alone do any enforcement. So as establishments have popped up in towns to ensure that activities are kept legal and similar to, say, body art and piercing, towns want to make sure that any practice is done in a safe and healthy manner. So towns have been enacting and passing their own regulations such as these. Some are stricter, some are less strict, but without any regulation, there's no enforcement, we would have no authority. And it is a growing problem, throughout the state and really throughout the country. So before you is a relatively comprehensive regulation that encompasses the establishment and the practitioners that would be working within the establishment. There's reference to the building department, the building commissioner, and their ability to be involved within the inspections and whatnot, as well as the police department. Again, with a lot of the illegal activity, it's been a joint effort in a lot of the communities with the police department to either stop activity or ensure that practices are done in a safe and appropriate manner. So that pretty much encompasses, hopefully, a general quick synopsis of it. Certainly, anybody who's already licensed within the state as a massage therapist would be exempt from these. That would even include like a chiropractor. Anyone who already holds a state professional licensure would be exempt, because they're already licensed by the state and have regulations that they fall under and a code of ethics and standards that they have to adhere to. So this is catching the loophole that certain establishments and practitioners try to skirt around. So.
Okay. Let's see, so once we finalize this, do the same thing, have a public hearing on it, and then go that route of,
Yeah, now, we do not have to have a public hearing, correct? I mean, I know general
It's
practices, we do, but, and we probably would, right?
Yeah, so I actually just had Body Works regulations passed in Rentham because we have an establishment that met this criteria that we've been trying to work with now for almost 2 years. And what sparked it in Norfolk was somebody had approached the town looking to open a Body Works establishment. I don't believe that it would meet the zoning where they were looking to go, but the fact that there was the interest, I know Andy, you were on the board when we had the body art, when Tiki Tattoo wanted to go in and we had no regulations.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Mr. Howard was beyond cooperative and was willing to come into compliance with any regulations that we set forth. But I'd rather have something on the books before it becomes a problem and we're trying to scramble. So that being said, we did, there was, I think, 2 or 3 meetings that, there was some discussion, and then we did have a public hearing just to make it, appropriate, and it was passed from there.
okay,
Always a good idea to do that.
okay. Matt, I guess my general comments really are, for definitions, I mean, the word should be probably highlighted and clarified, or basically make it clear that it's that's the word, and the definition after it, that's bolding or just, it's more or less just bolding or italices. In part 4, would this be easier for the applicant and for us to confirm compliance with each requirement of having a checklist associated with everything that's in part 4 of this?
I can certainly make, if the board so chooses to pass them as I can certainly make a checklist.
Okay.
Both the practitioners and the establishment, so that way they know exactly what has to be done, what
Okay.
requirements
Actually,
need to be met.
we could probably do that as part of our, when we create an application. We could probably include that as part of our application.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there is so much stuff here that, someone's going to miss it.
Right.
And I'm not trying to make it easy for everybody, but at the same time, trying to make it as simple as possible.
Well, it's good for the office staff too.
And, yeah.
As it comes in, we can, okay,
And-
check, you've got your ID, blah, blah, blah.
For compliance too, so, okay. Part 5, just the permit renewal. Should there be a date before the expiration date of December 31st that if you're going to renew, you need to get your renewal paperwork in before November 25th, November 18th, November 1st? Is it 60 or 90, 60, 90, 30 days? Any thoughts on that, Matt?
Generally renewals, Betsy, they're usually 30, we usually get them out like 2 or 3 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have, the late fees, I think.
Okay.
if they're behind.
Okay, we should, because it doesn't, I mean, that's, it kind of gives them a little bit of heads up. At the same time, I think it would probably be helpful for them as well, because it doesn't specifically say, I'm looking at some of the licenses that I've had. One, you can submit your renewal 6 months beforehand. Other ones, you have to do it within 45 days. And in some cases, if you have continuing education classes that are due when you renew, and you have your short one class, you can get a 30-day extension, but you have to get that extension in 60 days before your license is due. So, I'm just thinking that, that we probably should clearly specify that, you might want to think about doing this every, get your
I would
renewal in.
say, applications for renewal shall be received, or shall be submitted to the Board of Health office by December 1st.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Again, I think that date might change if we end up getting more than one or two businesses, but that's it.
If it's easier to make it fiscal year, whatever is easiest for you with the other permits, doesn't matter to me really.
Yeah, we could do that too. I think my body art,
That's
runs on the
fiscal year.
fiscal year, so maybe it would make sense to do this on the fiscal year, so it would expire June 30th.
Okay.
But we can take a look at that.
Okay.
A lot of what's required is comparable or somewhat similar to what's required for body art as far as the establishment and practitioners. The last thing, I wouldn't ever want to have even the appearance that we're singling a specific business out, making things excessively difficult. So there are a lot of similarities between what's required between body works and body art. You're working on a person's body in one way or another, so I think having similar requirements is important. We even require a photo of the body art practitioners, so they are fair.
Okay. I mean, if you want to think about it, we can, or you want to talk to Betsy, we come to some conclusion about whatever easiest. I mean, obviously, don't want to load things up on Betsy if she has other stuff coming due at the end of the fiscal year versus, something at the end of the calendar year.
It's actually easier the fiscal year because, all of my installer permits, refuse hauler permits,
Yeah.
stuff, those are all on the calendar year.
Okay. So, and that's pretty much it. Those are the only questions I had. I mean, like I said, it's more structural in nature more than, any specific thing, but that's all I have. John?
So,
Josie, anything?
Matt, I
No,
guess I have a couple questions around the employment piece connected with this. So in section 4, we say we're going to do query checks on folks. And if there's adverse information that appears on the query check, the only thing we're going to ask is the circumstances around the events that appear on the query. Is that correct?
I think there's a piece that we'll have to be in conjunction with the police department. I think if there is anything on a query or story that would pertain to any illegal type of activity that would be done within that establishment, that would, I would think, be grounds for requiring further explanation or investigation. If it means, have them come before the board and explain what had transpired, I think that's.
Yeah, I guess as we get deeper into this, I'd like to see that a little bit more spelled out here, because I read the stuff here, section 4 and section 6, and there's no teeth connected with it whatsoever. We're gonna run a query, we're not even gonna have any validation that the query was completed on file. And if there's something that shows up, we're gonna ask questions around why. So I guess I'd like to see what are our options around, is there anything in addition to what's spelled out here can we do?
If I can interject, I am Corey certified, because I worked in the HR department before, in the medical field, in the hospital. You're not going to hear anything back if there's a clean query. You only hear back if they find something, and it does take a while to get back.
I mean, Josie, I've been in HR for north of 30 years. I have done thousands of background checks. And I at least would want to,
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
when stuff pops up, I at least want to seek to understand.
Oh, yeah,
And have some
I'm just telling you,
criteria.
like, it takes a while,
And
yeah.
have some criteria in place for making sound decisions.
No, for sure. I'm just telling you that it does take a while.
I'm aware of that.
Who would be being queried, the employees and the applicant, or how? People,
Any of the practitioners, and that would have to be submitted with their application.
So each establishment would have a license, and then each practitioner each practitioner would have to have a license with us.
Now, are we requiring them to run an updated, should we require them to run an updated query once a year? As part of, if there's some type of license?
Part of the renewal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that, yeah.
Yep. I mean, sorry, Matt, I'm just looking at this and I'm saying, wow, there's some opportunities here.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm letting John run with this because I know, I understand his background, his HR background. And Josie, I'm glad you told me that too, because you guys are way ahead of me in that department.
yeah, I agree, I completely agree with you. It just takes us a while, that's all.
Yep.
And that's what we're here for, if it will take how long it takes. It takes.
I mean, Matt, if you'd like, I can probably see, is there anything I can pull on the employment side around just some general guidelines that we may want to mirror this off of, just for your review?
Of course, yeah, it's fine, and, it's all for discussion, there's no urgency, there's no rush,
Yep.
So we can add things, change things, delete things.
Okay.
Well, we don't want to make this a long drawn-out process at the same time.
No.
Getting something in place in the next 3 to 5 months, I think, is pretty reasonable. At the same time, I don't think we have too many businesses knocking on the door to.
No.
We do not.
So.
And all I'm looking for stuff, all I'd be looking at, Auntie, would be, what are some really simple, meaningful things that we
Okay.
can put in place that are going to protect the town and the town's residents?
Okay. Okay.
I have another question. Matt, you said that it wasn't allowed in that plaza, or it wasn't specific?
Our zoning only allows it in the B1 zoning district, the
Okay.
town center.
So are they going to be applying for a special permit, or?
I don't think there's any provision to allow it elsewhere other than changing our zoning.
Okay.
My guess is they were just looking for a place, and if it worked, they'd probably go for it, but,
Yeah, the person that had inquired was looking at, on Dedham Street, somewhere on Dedham Street.
having dealt with this type of business quite a bit in the past, they want to be able to do as little as possible to get in business. So I highly doubt that they would be looking to get a special permit. They'll just move to another town or another location.
Okay. Okay. Betsy, Josie, if you have any comments, get them to Betsy. John, you've got a bunch.
Yeah.
You provide, this was provided to us as a PDF. John, would it be helpful if you had a Word, as in Word or a PDF, and then you can just make edits or comments next to it?
Word if you have it.
I have it in Word.
Awesome, thank you.
If you want Word, and everybody can either get the comments back to Betsy or to me, and we'll merge it all together, and
Okay.
we can do them like that and put it on for either October, November's meeting for review again.
Okay. Okay.
Matt, thank you.
Yep.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Anything else? Should we move on?
I think we should move on.
Okay.
I've done HR enough today.
Matt, updates, and are you doing the public health nurses stuff too? Or Betsy, are you gonna?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay. Matt, you got the floor.
I don't really have much from the nurses per se. I know they're doing some flu clinics coming up. I believe tomorrow afternoon from 1 to 4, I think, is at the senior center
Correct.
in Norfolk. I know that they've been very busy and active. We had our quarterly alliance meeting this morning, and the nurses, in collaboration with the rest of us, they're going to start trying to focus not just on more on the senior side of the population, but also trying to focus more on the younger side, especially with nutrition type things and whatnot. So the nurses, I'm sure, if you want more of an update, we can certainly have them in for the next meeting to give more, but they're definitely busy and very active. And this time of year, they have a lot of flu clinics between the 3 towns, and they do some of the larger businesses. They'll go right to the business and do a clinic for them as well. So they've have been busy and will be busy now for the next 2 months or so. On my end, it's been steady, business as usual. I don't think anything too noteworthy at this point. And I believe everything has been normal, nothing crazy on Kerry's side with the food. Novato's, as I'm sure you're aware, did have a building accident involving a truck. They were closed for a few weeks now. I know Kerry was out on Thursday.
She'll be going back out again this Thursday. I think they're hoping to open up,
Reopening.
this Thursday.
Okay.
I'm sure they're anxious. It's been, I think, almost 5 weeks since that accident.
Yep. Okay.
Just to a little bit more on the nurses' side, Matt, said that we do have our annual flu clinic at the senior center tomorrow. That was advertised on Facebook, on the website, couple of different Facebook pages. So they are also running flu clinic appointments at their office at the Rentham Town Hall in September and October on Tuesdays from 4 to 7. People can call there and schedule an appointment, or they do take walk-ins. So over the course of this fall, the nurses are doing actually 17 different flu clinics out, around the 3 towns. Some of our local businesses that have multiple employees, we will run flu clinics there. So I know last year we did at Joffran, we've done Camger. So like I said, they've got 17 flu clinics scheduled over the course of the next month or so.
Good.
Can we get a listing of where they're at, just so we can, how to sign up, just so we can promote?
So honestly, the best thing to do is do you follow the Metacomet Public Health Nurses on Facebook?
Yep.
So they do advertise it there.
Okay.
I know there was a little chit chat as to whether the nurses would be willing to maybe do an extra small clinic, mainly for like town Norfolk employees if they couldn't make tomorrow. Janine is in the town hall office Tuesdays, usually from 2 to 5, pending home visits. So they were going to look to see if maybe they could find a Tuesday in the next couple of weeks to add to the schedule. But we'll get that out to the town.
Yeah, I did send a town-wide email today, town employee-wide email regarding tomorrow's flu clinic with the link for people to sign up.
Okay. Okay. Matt, anything else? Oop.
No, I don't have anything else. I know there was a slew of emails regarding the detention basin at the fire station. I believe the engineer firm they were doing some sampling and looking into what was going on with it. I would be hard pressed to believe it would be a perched water table, only because we've had very little rain where the water table is low. I was actually just a handful of houses down on Main Street for a perk test last Thursday, and we were down 10 feet and had no groundwater at all. So I don't know if there's been an update from the engineers since, if they've gotten out yet. But I'm wondering if maybe it was an issue with material that was put in. We'll see what their boring samples come back and show.
Matt, bedrock is at the surface. The bottom line is my understanding is the planning board also provided some variances. And have you had a chance to look at Beta's work?
I have not, no.
You might look at that too. To get other board members, the retention basin in front of the fire station is not working correctly. I mean, it should be draining in a matter of 24, 48 hours, depending upon the rainfall.
Yeah, there's standing water in it.
And we haven't had rain of any significant
No.
amount for almost 2 weeks now, and there's still water there. And my understanding is that there are mosquitoes breeding. They did put some granular insecticide or the bacteria in the water. And there was a meeting, which I still have yet to watch, of the committee meeting, the last meeting they had, and they talked about this. And it seemed like there were a lot of quiet people, but like I said, I heard I got a 30-second synopsis about it. But the bottom line is, Matt, I mean, our bylaws for the Board of Health looks at stormwater and water and runoff, and I mean, this follows this. I mean, that's what this is, and the history of that site, I don't know. I mean, we've been in town for a long, long time, and there used to be a wetland back behind the station that eventually just dried up. They put the septic system there. I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to have to probably put some sort of pump system and treatment system and then discharge it to the storm drains. That's my guess. Knowing what I know, I mean, if you go back behind the fire station, there's huge bedrock outcrops sticking up, and you're just not gonna, you can't get that much water into the cracks in the rock unless they start breaking it apart. But then again, eventually those are gonna plug up because silt's gonna get in there too. And if you remember the blasting as well as the rock removal, which occurred probably a year and a half, 2 years before the new building went up, so that should have been a red flag for someone, but obviously it seems to have fallen between the cracks. But Matt, if you would like to, I guess if you have time, try and dig up the Beta stuff, or Betsy, you should have that from the
I would,
planning
yeah.
board. Yeah, if you could copy that and basically scan it, send it to Matt, send it to me. I'd be curious, and if the other board members would like to look at it too.
Please.
I honestly have no idea what it says, but I've reviewed some of Beta's other work, and I'm hoping I don't see what I think might be in there, that they just assumed it was good enough. But yeah.
I know I was out there quite a bit with the septic system because they had to put in some temporary lines when they were in between the trailers, and I was there quite a bit, so I did at one point when I was there, they did have it all dug out, and prepped. The material looked, not gravel, not sand, that's for sure, at the bottom. It certainly wasn't ledge.
Yeah.
But it looked silty, a lot of fines.
Yep.
So we'll see, I'll see what that report says and what their boring samples come back with.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was going to ask if ask if you were done. We could sort of jump to asking that question, but you brought it up, so I was going to bring it up at the end of the meeting, but you brought it up, so I'm good. So.
No, and now I'm done.
Okay, now we're done. So, guess moving on to the next one about the proposed hearing for the tobacco regulations. Have you got any comments or any?
I have not, no, we've got that, that's been advertised for our meeting on October 28th.
Okay.
I did send a copy of the proposed regulations to our 4 licensed tobacco retailers.
Okay.
So that's about it.
Okay. Okay.
Really not expecting any comments, but I will let you know if we do get any comments.
Okay. Okay. Well, moving on, 111 Dedham Street, I have nothing new. Not the last Board of Selectmen's meeting, the one before that, the chair did say that she misspoke about the cleanup starting and would try and get the video corrected. So
Saw that.
that should be, that should be good. At the same time, again, we've had 2 delays on the Phase 2 report, which now is looking to be done sometime next year, early 2026. So I guess we'll have to wait on that. So, Norwood Hospital updates. Anything?
So the Good Size Rally on the 6th of September.
Yep.
That we promoted. I'm not sure, did we get that on the town webpage? No, okay. I know I promoted it on my end. Still working to do some type of public information session this fall or early winter.
Okay.
Did you say the 26th of September?
No, so there was the rally on the 6th of September.
Okay.
That we promoted. That was well attended.
It did make the TV.
It did make the TV?
Which station was that?
I think it started on
25, I think.
5 and 25.
I think we saw it on Channel 7. It was the 9 o'clock news. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Great.
Good. Next meeting,
October 28th.
October 28th. Okay.
And then we can assess our schedule around the holidays and see what we want, what works best for everybody.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe we can do one after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas. So
Split the difference make it early December,
yeah,
and then,
that would work great.
okay. Yeah, let's see, we'll see,
Okay,
let's
yeah,
gauge
we
where we
can
are in
take a look at our
October.
schedule at the next meeting.
Okay. Okay. Do any other board members have anything they want to bring up while we're getting towards the end here?
No, I know I need to do work on Norwood Hospital.
Okay. Okay.
No, I mean, we pretty much covered the flu clinic, and
Okay.
there is an update now, there's some more guidance for, I guess, elderly people who are ultra sensitive about the next booster COVID vaccine is called the Novavirus, which has been, I guess, research has shown that has minimal side effects. But I'm surprised I haven't been seeing a lot of that offered, so.
Yeah, I mean, I got my invitation from Atrius to make an appointment, and they,
I usually get the nursing newsletter, so it's the Novavirus, yeah.
yeah, and but they didn't say. All said it was the COVID booster.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. Anyways. Well, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
I approve the motion. I second that.
Okay, motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, good night. Thank you.